Well, I just dropped off the grandkids for a visit with their mom and dad. Beverly, she's at work. She won't be off work until later tonight. So I just got paid and I decided to come up here to Long John Silver's, eat some dinner, and then here in a couple hours or so I gotta go back and get the kids. I don't know if their mom and dad's ever gonna straighten their butts up, but they have to have supervised visits and stuff, so there's a worker with them. But while I'm sitting here, I thought I'd just make another video and try to explain something to a bunch of people. This ain't the first time that Lisa had tried to, leave or whatever. She had took out a protective order against me before, and I had to leave my home. And during that time, my son was like 6 months old. She was on the internet and she was talking to guys on there. I didn't find out until I was at my mom and dad's house that some of the people that was in the same chat room was telling me that she was talking to some guy, and it didn't work out. But anyways, needless to say, I never had anything like that against me before, so she knew that was the only way to remove me from the home because there was no other reason to. So she came up with that scheme. Well, we went to court and everything, that was dropped. I went back home and I was with my kids until she met Dale. And then she did it again. She took out a protective order against me, and I left, and stupid me decided to give her the keys to the car so she'd be able to take the kids wherever she wants to take them. I just could not understand why she was doing what she was doing until later I found out that she was with Dale. But I just wanted to bring that subject up because there's something that people just didn't know during the first shot, was because I just didn't bring it up. But when we got back together and everything, there was nothing wrong with my kids or anything like that. And during that time, I had actually decided, she started working at a restaurant right down the road, and they needed a Santa Claus for a school thing that was coming to the restaurant. So me and Haley, we volunteered, and I dressed up as Santa Claus for all these school kids, and Haley was an elf. I had no problem doing that. The kids loved me. But they took pictures, so I'm going to just show you. This is me as Santa Claus. You see Haley? She's right there. She's the elf. And these are all school kids in this restaurant. Now, if I would have been such a bad guy, I wouldn't have been able to do stuff like that for kids. But I brought just a couple more little pictures just to show what Lisa looked like when she was with us. This is Lisa when she had the baby. But she don't look like that now. Here's Austin. He was just a chubby little kid. Here's Haley and Austin again at Christmas time. Here's a shot of him with Santa Claus. Austin's first time with Santa Claus wasn't a great experience for him. This is Star. Imagine that. She looked a lot like Austin when he was little. And just like a regular childhood or whatever, Austin had cakes. He never did without, as they claim. Every year. We even had a birthday party for the kids. And this was part of my trailer. And this is what Lisa looked like whenever she was with me. This is the trailer park that we lived in, and this is the back of Lisa. And you can see the kids, and there was our old car. So, don't look like, the kids were being abused, if you want to put it that way. Still another picture. Same thing. There's Lisa with some of the neighbors' kids. We just threw a little party out in my lot that we used to rent. It was Haley and just having a birthday. Same thing. You know, that trailer looks a lot better than Mr. Dale Christopher Damron's, box that he's got those kids in. So it's just a very, very bad shame that they're in that situation. When I had a state trooper, when I first found out, I had him go check on my kids, do a wellness check. He did. He said there was nothing wrong with my kids, that they were healthy, they were safe. And I explained to him exactly what was going on, which she left West Virginia and stuff, and he told me that would still have to go up to the family courts, and in his opinion, with the kids being of age the way they are, that he figures I wouldn't have any kind of custody or anything like that. And so that was the only reason I didn't pursue it any further. Technically she has custody of him. I got the visitation, but she denied me my visitations, and she is going to be held in contempt of court, and they could not serve the paperwork to her because they left. Had they been able to do that and she not show up to court and everything, they could have took a warrant out for her arrest. But she has to be served paperwork. By the time I found the real address where they're at, Austin had already turned past 18. Star is now 18. And there is nothing I can do about that. But I am still their father. I still love them. And I hope one day I'll be able to see them again without them being coaxed by their parents or stepdad or whatever you want to call him. But I'm not the person that they're trying to make me out to be. I'm just an average guy and trying to, make it through life. I am a diabetic. I do have to have injections in my eyes because I did have cataract surgery on both eyes. And I don't know how much longer I'm going to be around, really. My diabetes is getting bad. So I don't know what Dale and Lisa's plans are, what they're going to do, but It's a shame that they let that little girl just disappear like that. And from what I saw on Christopher Sr.'s videos and stuff, where Shelley was talking about um, the old man that lives with him and stuff, making him pay, what was it, $1,500 a month to live in that little box. That's outrageous, and that's just adult cruelty. But it seems like Dale has control over everything. Them kids, everything. My oldest daughter lives in Texas, the one that said that he raped her and did all that other stuff. She was too scared at the time to even mention to anybody. She was technically homeless. They just threw her out. And, she wasn't that old at the time. She wasn't even 18. They just threw her out. She finally got a hold of me, and she was living with this boy or whatever, and they had a baby together. But I guess it just didn't work out between them, and the baby is now with the father. And Haley's moved on and got her another man in her life, and she has a job. She's doing okay. So I know where she is. I know where Kelly is. Kelly was our other daughter, right behind Haley. And when she was born, Haley was still in diapers. And when we first moved to West Virginia from Georgia, where we met, I lived up around my grandmother in a double wide trailer. And unfortunately, I wasn't working at the time, and my car was down. My cousin was babysitting her sometimes when we had to go to town. Lisa just could not handle 2 in diapers. And as the idiot that I am, I let my cousin talk her into adopting Kelly to her. And Lisa confronted me about this, and I was highly against it. But my cousin and hers, they teamed up, and I ended up signing the paperwork. So that's where Kelly went, but I know where she's at too. Now, as far as Austin and Star, I had no clue that they were going through the things they've been going through. I mean, what kind of father puts their kids down there like that? Go live in a camper, and then make the girls go down there with some old guy in this mischief tent they put together? Who's going to do that? These are dangerous people, okay? If they would treat their own blood and their own child like that, what do you think they would do to somebody like their neighbors or something? I mean, Dale, he's crippled up. What's he going to do? Lisa's nuts, okay? Lisa is totally nuts. She is the reason all of this is taking place. She is the one that neglected those kids, did not let them see their father. I have rights. I have rights to see my children. They're not toys. They're not just something you can just drag along like a suitcase. I don't know what's wrong with CPS up there. I don't know why they don't do something for those kids. Who's next? Heaven forbid it be my child. Like Star. Yeah. Me and that boy, you wouldn't see him no more. I guarantee it. Something happened to my kid? Mm-mm. No. See, people thought that Stephanie was my kid. No. Lisa and Dale had her like almost a year after our divorce. But I still feel sorry that this has happened. I mean, that's technically Star and Austin's half sister. I know emotions run wild. I know how bad it can get. You know, he was on a video saying, well, he doesn't really get, emotional and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, because you could give a fuck less. That's how you are. You are a fucking dumb shit father. You are. Anybody who put his family through something like that, you're not worth it. Lisa didn't, go higher up when she left me. Yeah, she's paying for it. She got what she wanted. But you don't do children like that. No. And it's a shame that you have to try to get my son to go on there and say he wants to, lay me out and all that kind of stuff. What kind of father would do stuff like that? That's uncalled for. I haven't seen this boy. I don't know. I tried to reach out to him, and he says that I ain't his father. I don't get it. I just don't get it. How can you hate somebody that you ain't seen in years? Since he was 5 years old. I've got videos on my channel of the last time I saw my kids. When Lisa and Dale had custody, they brought them over to my mom's house because I had sold my place and I was getting ready to move to Fairmont. And that was the last time I saw my kids. It was at my mom's house on Easter. That was it. If I'm such a bad person, why would the courts even grant me visitation? If I was a horrible threat to these children. I have another video on there that says my little girl Star. That was the last time they had a visit in my trailer before I moved to Fairmont. And it was just me and them. What? She thought I was going to do something to him? She tried to say that they ate some pizza or something there that night, and Star was put in the emergency room. And CPS got a hold of me and was asking me questions. So me and Beverly decided to just go straight up to the office, talk to the lady, told her the situation. She looked into it. She looked around at the hospitals, tried to get any information of anywhere that they said that they took this little girl. My little girl, remember that, Dale, she's mine. Not yours, mine. And there was no record of that ever happening. That was the first time that they really were trying to keep me from seeing my kids again. You know why? Because she was getting in trouble with the family courts. She wasn't doing what she was told. She wasn't doing with the parenting plan. What? I don't understand it. She got what she wanted. She got this guy. She got the kids. Just let them see their father. What was the problem? Even when I moved to Fairmont, we were supposed to meet halfway, and I was supposed to pay her gas money to get back for round trips. I was going to get them for a long weekend, and the judge told her, "You do know what a long weekend means, right? It's from Friday to Sunday. She'd get the kids back on Monday." But I tried to set up two times for a visit. The first time I called her, I tried to set it up. She tells me, well, actually, it wasn't her that told me, it was Dale. Dale tells me that they can't do it because she has a dentist appointment to get new teeth, because technically her teeth were rotted black. No, okay. Then the second time I was supposed to get my kids, the next month, it was going to be in July, and I like to do fireworks, and I wanted my kids for that weekend so we could celebrate the 4th and show them what, life is like in Fairmont. Well, that didn't happen either. Dale come up, told me another excuse, that they were going to rent a cabin. Okay, whatever, we'll settle this in court. Well, I tried to call again. Phone number's disconnected. I go all the way back now. I gotta drive 3 hours all the way back to where I used to live, because where we got divorced in that county, I have to file anything in that county, even though I live in Fairmont. So I went, filed the paperwork. The sheriff went out, looked. The house was abandoned. The grass was grown up. Come back, and they couldn't deliver her the papers. I had no forwarding address, no phone numbers, and I was not allowed to get any information on my kids from the schools, Social Security offices or anything like that. Welfare office, I was not allowed to do that. I was just getting visitations. I have to be on a call list or something like that in order to be given any information. So I asked the judge, what can I do? I mean, my kids are missing, and then he looks at me and he's like, "Billy, where's your kids?" Like I knew something, where they're at. I don't know. I don't know where they're at. That's why I'm here. I need to find them. She didn't bring them to me, and they're not there, so now what? His answer? Get a private investigator. Because he looks at me, he looks me dead in the eye, and he tells me, "I can't do nothing for you, Billy, unless she is properly served paperwork. I need an address of where she's at." I had no clue where she was at. I had no clue that they even left state. How the hell am I supposed to come up with some address? So technically, they couldn't do nothing for me unless she was served the paperwork, and then if she don't show up, then they can take a warrant out for her arrest. Well, he looks at me and he says, "Oh, you can get you a private investigator." What? He wants $10,000 up front. I checked in on it. He wants a retainer of $10,000 and $200 an hour to find these kids and Lisa and Dale. I couldn't do nothing like that. So, what could I do? You know what? Jill, you can't get all emotional and crying and stuff, but let me tell you something. I came home opened that door because I called my neighbor and I said, "Is my car still sitting in the driveway?" They said, "Nope, it ain't been there since overnight." See, I was only supposed to go to my mom and dad's like for a day and just for her to cool off so I can come home. I come home, the car was gone. My dad dropped me off. I walked in, clothes strung from one end of that trailer to the next. Olive stars, baby stuff was missing. The crib was tore up. Everything was gone. The only thing I could do is I picked up what little clothes I could find, and I held them in my hands. Got down on my knees and cried. Do you know what kind of pain that feels like? That's torture. Okay? Not knowing where your kids are, not knowing what your wife did, and finding out that they're gone. Just like that. Just like if they were hit by a car or something and they're gone. She took my car. I had to file paperwork to try to find out where that was. They left it on the side of a freeway on the interstate with the keys left on it. It was the sheriff's office that found the car. Way over in the next county. Nowhere near where they lived in Twilight. So what was I supposed to do? At that moment, I was like, well, where's my kids? I had to get a tow truck, and they towed the car home. You know what I mean? What am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to just sit around and keep my mouth shut? Let them do whatever they want to do? No. That's why they left, because they know that I would pursue every minute of the day to see my kids. I was on the verge of getting them. If they would have come to Fairmont, they were scared that they would lose those kids because technically they would love Fairmont. That's the whole reason they left. They were scared that she was going to get in trouble. She was going to lose custody of those kids to me. They never told anybody they were leaving. That was all a big lie. And I know, Dale, you're going to look at this and you're going to say, ha 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 ha, yeah. Well, I'm not going to threaten you. I'm not going to say a bunch of crap. But your ass is mine. Don't let me see you. I mean it. I'll take all this pain, all the suffering I've had over the years, and you will be no more. I don't want to have to threaten you, but I'm going to promise you. Watch and see.